Rachel. She didn't even flinch. I stood in the doorway, holding the flowers behind my back. She was sitting at the table with James Rivers's legs crossed like he owned the place, swirling wine in my glass. "You're early," she said without looking at me. "Yeah," I forced a smile. "Happy anniversary." Rachel raised an eyebrow. "I forgot." James chuckled. Awkward. I looked between them. "What's going on?" Rachel sipped her wine. "We were talking." "Talking with him?" "In our house." James leaned back. "You mean her house?" "Excuse me?" Rachel stood up slowly. "Don't make this harder than it has to be." I stepped forward. "You invited him here? On our anniversary?" "You don't get it, Ethan. You haven't for a long time." My hand tightened around the bouquet. "I lost my job. I've been trying. She laughed, bitter. "You've been sitting around feeling sorry for yourself for months. You knew I was applying. You're useless." My breath caught. Rachel looked me in the eye. "You don't inspire me. You don't challenge me. You don't do anything." James whistled low. "Ouch." I turned to him. "Get out." "This isn't your place anymore, man," he said, standing. "Let it go." I looked back at Rachel. "Is this really happening?" She walked past me, grabbed a small suitcase near the door. "How long have you been planning this?" I asked. "Since before your last interview," she said. "I hoped you'd change." "I am changing." "No, Ethan, you're not. You're just drowning slower." I dropped the flowers. "So that's it?" She opened the door. "This is mercy, Rachel. Don't call me. But don't come find me. Just don't." James followed her out like he'd done it 100 times before. The door clicked shut. I sat on the couch for hours. Her voice kept playing in my head. "You're useless," was I? I looked at the empty wine glass she left behind. My glass. My house whore. What used to be, I opened the fridge. Empty. I opened my wallet. A $10 bill and an expired train pass. I stared at my reflection in the dark microwave door. "Who the hell was I?" Chloe texted. "You okay?" I typed. She left. She replied, "What happened?" I didn't answer. I lay down on the floor and stared at the ceiling until morning the next day. I called Rachel. It rang once. Twice. Voicemail. I called again. Straight to voicemail, I left a message. "I don't know what happened to us, but I didn't deserve that. I loved you." I sat there listening to my own voice echo back. A second later, my phone dinged. "Your number has been blocked by this user." I laughed. It wasn't funny, but I laughed anyway. Loud. Broken. A knock at the door. I opened it. Rachel's mother stood there. "Ethan," she said, eyes soft. "Mrs. Langley." I heard. I nodded. "She's been different lately." Didn't. No, it was this bad. She didn't just leave. She erased me. "She regret it," she whispered. "I'm not sure I want her to." She reached out, then pulled back. "Take care of yourself." She left a tin of cookies. I didn't open it. 3 days passed. I didn't shower, didn't eat much. I just kept hearing it. "You're useless." Was she right? I picked up my laptop, still logged into LinkedIn. 20 unread messages from companies. I never replied. Why? Fear? Shame? I clicked one from 6 weeks ago. "We loved your interview. Let's talk next steps." I closed the laptop too late. Another. Knocked Chloe again. "Jesus, you look like a scarecrow," she said, walking in without asking. "I'm fine. You're not fine." "I don't need a babysitter." She crossed her arms. "Brought food." "I'm not hungry." She sat anyway. "What happened?" She left. I figured she called me useless. Chloe's jaw tightened. "She's cruel." "No," I said. "She's just honest. Don't say that." Chloe leaned closer. "You're not useless, Ethan. You're lost." "That's different." "Feels the same." "Then let me help you find your way." I didn't answer, just sat there breathing. My heart didn't feel broken. It felt gone, like Rachel had taken it with her, and I wasn't sure if I even wanted it back. Asterisk, You look like hell. That's polite. Chloe stepped inside, kicking the door closed behind her. You haven't cleaned or showered or anything. Shrugged. What's the point? She dropped a paper bag on the table. Food, real food, but not ramen. Regret. I sat back on the couch. I'm not hungry. She stared at me. It's been 4 days. Ethan, I've eaten. Coffee doesn't count. I looked away. Don't waste your time. Too late for that, she muttered. Want to talk about it? No. Want to pretend it didn't happen? I said nothing. Chloe sat beside me. She's gone. That part's real. You don't have to pretend it didn't hurt. It didn't hurt, I said. She scoffed. You're lying to me. I met her eyes. I'm lying to myself. There was a silence. I keep hearing it, I said softly. You're useless. It's on repeat in my head. Like a bad song I can't turn off. She was cruel. She was right. No, she was angry and selfish. That's different. I stood and walked toward the mirror above the fireplace. Look at me, Chloe. Seriously? Look. She stood beside me. You see that guy? He's tired, empty. He let her walk all over him for months. I see someone trying to hold it together. I laughed. You're too kind. No, I'm not. You just forgot who you were. I stared into the mirror. My eyes looked older, hollow. I used to believe in things. Used to believe in myself. You still can, I don't know how. She reached over, grabbed my hand. Start small. With what? Shower. Eat. Leave the apartment. Breathe like a normal person. I pulled away gently. I don't want to face people, then don't. Just face yourself. I looked at the mirror again. I don't like him, then change him. Later that night I sat in the bathroom. Hot water running, steam fogged the mirror. I wiped it clean. There I was again. I raised a hand, touched the glass. I didn't flinch this time. The next morning, Chloe returned with coffee. You look slightly less like death, I showered. I can tell you smell human. I smiled faintly. Progress. She handed me a cup. I got you black. Like. Your mood, I took a sip. Accurate. Chloe leaned back on the counter. You still haven't told me what happened that night. I sighed. Do I have to? No, but I think you want to. Nodded slowly. I came home early. Anniversary. Thought I'd surprise her. She didn't say anything, just listened. She was sitting at the table. With James Rivers? Chloe blinked. Seriously? God, Ethan. She looked at me like I was the one interrupting. She cheated on you in your own house. Emotionally. For sure. Physically. Probably. Chloe clenched her jaw. I never liked her. You said she was classy. Classy doesn't mean kind. She told my head. She told me I was dragging her down. She couldn't be with someone like me anymore. She's toxic. She said I was useless. Stop repeating that. It's stuck. Well, unstick it. You're not useless, Ethan. You've just been stuck. That's all. Stuck in failure. No. Stuck in pain. He sat on the floor with mugs in hand. I looked over at her. Why are you here? Because you need someone. Why you? Or she? Smiled. Because I remember you. The old you. Before Rachel dimmed the light in your eyes. I looked down. Feels like he died. And we'll bring him back. One piece at a time. That night, I opened my laptop. Emails. Missed calls. Messages from people I didn't recognize. A job offer from an old contact. I hadn't even seen it before. Chloe peeked over my shoulder. That looks promising. I nodded. Maybe. She nudged me. Open it. I clicked it. Saw your resume again. Still think you're a good fit. So let's talk soon. Should I reply? I asked. Do you want to? I thought about it. I think I do. Then yes. I typed out a short response. Hit send. For the first time in weeks, I felt something other than emptiness. The next morning, I stood in front of the mirror again. Still me. Still hollow, but less cracked. Chloe, I said, texting her. Thanks for not giving up on me. She replied instantly, never will. You sure about this? I asked, adjusting the apron. Chloe tossed me a towel. You're overqualified for dishes, and underqualified for life. She smirked. Just keep the plates intact. That's step one. I glanced at the clock. 6 hours. Don't count them. Feel them. Sounds exhausting. She winked. Welcome to my world. I scrubbed in silence. The cafe was small, cozy. People came more for Chloe than the coffee. She had this way of making people feel seen. I tried. Not to be seen. Order up, she called, handing me a plate. Table 5. I hesitated. You sure you want me out there? I'm sure. I walked over, set the plate down. The guy didn't even look up. Where's Chloe? He asked. She's busy. I asked for her, not some dropout. I blinked. Excuse me, you heard me? I don't tip losers. Something in me snapped, but not the loud kind. Quiet. Final kind. I leaned forward. You ever lose everything in one night, sir? He looked up startled. What? Your home, your job, your wife, your dignity, all gone before breakfast. What does that have to do with... I didn't raise my voice because I did. And you know what I learned? People like you who judge without asking are exactly why men like me stop trying. He scoffed. So what, you want sympathy? No, I said. I want silence. He opened his mouth again. I held up a hand. And if you're still not tipping, at least let Chloe know, so you can stop making coffee for cowards. I returned to the back. Chloe stood there, eyes wide. You recorded that, didn't you? I asked. She grinned. Maybe, sighed. Please don't post it. Ow. Promises. That night, I lay on the fold-out couch, staring at the ceiling. My phone buzzed. Chloe again? Just uploaded it. Don't kill me? Uploaded what? The cafe video? Your little speech? I sat up. Seriously, it's blowing up. I blinked. Blowing up. Cafe. 1,000,000 views. It's in 2 hours. I stared at the message. No way. The next morning, Chloe kicked the couch. Wake up viral sensation. I groaned. No, she shoved her phone in my face. 2 million. You're trending. I rubbed my eyes. Why would people care? 'Cause you said what no one else would. I sat up. I wasn't trying to make a statement. Doesn't matter, you did. You spoke for every man who's ever felt discarded. I scrolled. Through comments. This guy gets it. I've never related to anything more. This gave me goosebumps. I swallowed hard. Is this real? She nodded. It's very real. By lunch, reporters were emailing her cafe. By dinner, someone posted my face on a motivational meme. By midnight, I had over 10,000 followers I didn't ask for. This is insane. I muttered. Chloe was grinning. People love a comeback. I haven't come back from anything. You're standing, she said. That's the start. The next day, 2 college students came into the cafe. They ordered coffee, then asked, Is the guy from the video here? Chloe pointed to me. They smiled. That thing you said, it meant a lot. I didn't know what to say, so I just nodded. Later, Chloe and I sat outside. She sipped tea. How does it feel to matter again? I stared out at the street. Weird. Weird good. Weird terrifying. She nudged me. You earned it. I didn't try to. Exactly. Looked at her. You really think I matter? She looked back. I always did. That night, I sat alone. Phone buzzing, messages coming in. Some were just thank you. Others were full-on storiesmen telling me about breakups, betrayals, breakdowns. I read every one. I didn't reply to most, but I read them. They weren't talking to a stranger. They were talking to someone who knew exactly what it felt like to be nothing. The next day, producer emailed Chloe. She called out from the counter. Hey, someone from a talk show wants to speak to you. Which one? Marcus Blake live. I froze. No way. Way. I stared at the wall. Should I call them? She smiled. Do you want to? I nodded slowly. I think I do. Then do it. That night, I recorded a video. Just me, sitting in the break room. Hey, I'm Ethan. I didn't expect any of this. I'm not famous. I'm not a speaker. I'm just a guy who got left behind. But if you've ever felt invisible, if you've ever been told you're nothing, I see you. You're not nothing. You're just hurting. Hurting doesn't make you weak, it makes you human. I uploaded it, went to sleep. The next morning, it had 5 million views, and Rachel had watched it. Asterisk, my phone rang at 7:14, a known number. I almost let it go, but something told me to answer. Hello? Ethan Cole? The voice asked. You woes this? This is Marcus Blake. I paused. The talk show guy. The one and only. I laughed nervously. Okay, who put you up to this? No prank, he said. I saw your cafe. Video, then your follow-up. Raw stuff. Thanks, I guess. I want you on my show. I sat up. Wait, seriously? Live taping. 2 days from now? Say yes, I'm not a public speaker? Exactly. That's why it works. Don't know, Ethan? You've been where most people are scared to admit they've gone. We need more of that. I blinked. What would I even say? Tell the truth. I don't have a script. You won't need one. Chloe stared at me like I'd grown a second head. Marcus Blake? Yeah. The Marcus Blake. Nodded, double quotes. Oh my God, Ethan, this is huge. I'm freaking out. Good. That means you care. What if I choke on live TV? Then at least you'll be a meme. Comforting. She grinned. You won't choke. 2 days later, I walked into the studio. It was colder than I expected. Bright lights. Too many cables. A woman in a headset greeted me. You're Ethan. Yeah. Marcus is excited. You ready? Not even close. She laughed. That's normal. Marcus met me backstage. Tall, sharp suit, full smile. You clean up nice. I feel like a fraud. Clapped my shoulder. That's how you know you're doing it right. I don't have cue cards. Good, just speak. What if I mess up? You'll be honest. That's what people want now. The lights hit. Audience clapped. Marcus started his intro. Then he looked at me. Joining us today is a man who said what most of us are too afraid to admit, Ethan Cole. Applause again. I stepped out, palms sweating, sat across from him. He smiled. How are you feeling? Terrified. The audience laughed. Honest answer, he said. Only kind I've got. He leaned forward. Tell me what happened. My wife left me. Soft murmurs in the crowd. She said I was useless. Marcus tilted his head. And were you? For a while. Yeah, I stopped trying. I gave up. What made you speak up that day in the cafe? I snapped, I said. But not in anger. Grief. He nodded slowly. It didn't sound angry. It sounded seen. I swallowed. I felt invisible. And for a second, someone looked at me like I mattered. You spoke for a lot of people. I didn't mean to. I was just surviving. We talked for 12 minutes. I don't remember all of it, but I remember how quiet the audience got. Not dead silence. Listening silence. When it ended, Marcus stood and hugged me. Keep going, he whispered. Backstage, a woman approached me. Black. Blazer. Blonde bob. Sharp eyes. I'm Olivia Wells, she said. Executive producer for BTV. Hi, that was impressive. I didn't even know what I was saying. Exactly. That's what made it work. I scratched my head. Thanks. She handed me a card. Let's talk next week. About what? Your own segment. I blinked. What? You, speaking, weekly, not as a host, as yourself. I'm not qualified. You're authentic. That's rarer than talent. I met Chloe at the diner afterward. She was waiting with a milkshake and a stupidly wide grin. Okay, she said, spill everything. I blacked out. You were amazing. You watched twice. I didn't embarrass myself. Only in the charming way. I slid Olivia's card across the table. What's this offer? She read it. Your own segment, apparently. She looked at me like I was on fire. Ethan, this is real. I don't even know what I'm doing. That's what makes it real. That night, I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling again. But something felt different. For the first time in months, I didn't feel like a burden. I felt like a voice. The next day, I got a text from an old coworker. Saw you on Marcus. Never seen you like that. Proud of you, man. An hour later, my brother went through something similar. Your words helped. Thanks. And then another. I cried watching you speak. Didn't know men could say things like that. By the end of the day, my inbox was full. Not with sympathy, with connection. People didn't want my pain. They wanted proof they weren't alone in theirs. Chloe knocked on my door. You up? Barely. Come outside. I followed her to the curb. She handed me a coffee. I knew it, she said. Knew what? You weren't broken? Just buried. I smiled. Still a little buried. She bumped my shoulder. We'll dig you out, bit by bit. I pulled out Olivia's card, held it like it might burn me. Do I take the deal? She didn't hesitate. Hell yes, you take the deal. What if I fail? Then fail loud. I looked at her. You're not afraid I'll change? I hope you change, she said. I just hope you don't forget why. The next morning, I called Olivia. I'm in, I said. She didn't pause. Good, let's build something. I still can't believe you called it that, Chloe said, laughing as she passed me my coffee. I grinned. What, the Useless Diaries isn't catchy enough? It's bold, she said, sliding into the seat across from me. A little depressing, but bold. That's the point, I said. People remember pain before they remember healing. She stirred her tea. And you're just owning the insult now? She called me useless, I said. So I made it a brand, Olivia. Raised an eyebrow during our first production meeting. You're sure about that title? Ironically sure? She tapped her pen. Fine, it's your segment. No scripts. Noted. No fake stories, even better, and no fake empathy. I'm not here to make people feel good, I'm here to make them feel seen, she smiled, then talked like no one's listening. Week 1, the studio was cold again. The lights too bright. I looked into the lens. The red dot blinked. Welcome to the Useless Diaries, I said. If you've ever been made to feel like your worth ended when someone walked out on you, you're not alone. My heart pounded. My hands shook, but the words kept coming. Later that night, Chloe called. You didn't suck. Wow. High praise. You were honest. Like painfully honest. That's the only way I know how to be now. People are going to feel that. Hope so. Week 2, I spoke with a man who hadn't seen his kids in 3 years. Week 3, woman whose fiancé ghosted her a month before the wedding. Week 4, teenager who was told by his own parents that he'd never amount to anything. They talked. I listened. When I spoke, it wasn't polished. It was real. Olivia called me after episode 5. You started something, good or bad, too real to be bad. Does Rachel know about the show? Chloe asked one night. I hesitated. Yeah. She watching? She follows the page? Quietly, no comments, no likes, but she sees everything. You okay with that? I nodded. She needs to watch. It's people. Stopped me on the street now. Not with cameras. With eyes. Real ones. Tired ones. Hopeful ones. Thanks for saying what I couldn't. You helped me forgive myself. I never knew what to say back, so I just said, me too. One night after a taping, I stared into the camera longer than usual. I'm not a therapist, I said. I'm not a hero. I'm just a man who was broken so hard he finally cracked. Open. And the light got in. I paused. And I want you to know, if you're in the dark, you're not invisible. I see you. Chloe watched that one live. She texted. I cried. In public, you owe me new mascara. I texted back. I owe you more than that. At the cafe, a kid barely out of college handed me a folded napkin. I opened it. I tried to end my life last month. Then I watched your show. Still here. Thanks. I didn't know what to do, so I just hugged him. Olivia walked in during a taping once, said nothing, just stood there. Afterward, she pulled me aside. You okay? I shrugged. No, but I'm trying. You look exhausted. I read every message. I try to respond. I can't stop thinking about them. You can't carry all of them. I'm not trying to. I'm just afraid I'll say the wrong thing. You say real things. That's why it works. I kept a notebook. I called it the not useless list. Every time someone said the show helped, I wrote it down. When I doubted myself, I read it page after page of strangers reminded me that pain had a purpose. Rachel emailed me one line. Is this who you were all along? I didn't respond. Not out of anger, out of peace. Chloe saw the email. You gonna reply no? She's watching you rise. She can watch. The network offered a full hour, Olivia asked. You ready for more? I nodded. I've got more to say. The team grew. Writers, editors, producers. But I made one thing clear. Don't change my words. I speak how I feel. They nodded. Because it worked. One guest said, I thought I was a mistake. You're just bruised and bruises fade, cried. So did I. Chloe visited the studio once, sat in the front row. After the taping, she hugged me hard. You're not the same guy I picked off the floor. Good, I said. He needed to go. But you're still you. Just louder. They stared at the show's logo one night, the useless diaries glowing on the studio screen. I thought about how it all started. A fight in a cafe day. Cold goodbye, a mirror I couldn't face, and now people were listening, not to a star, to a scar. I walked out of the studio. Phone buzzing with notifications, I didn't check. I didn't need to. Because I already knew. I mattered. Asterisk, I was sipping burnt coffee in the green room, trying to ignore the static buzz of pre-show nerves when I heard her voice. Ethan, I turned. Rachel stood in the doorway, dressed too perfectly for a casual visit. Lips painted, smile tighter than stretched plastic. You look different. I am. She stepped in, eyes scanning the room like she owned it. This is nice. I've seen clips. You're all over my feed. Funny, I don't follow you. Still sharp, she laughed, but her eyes didn't. I didn't offer her a seat. She wandered toward the vanity mirror. Remember when you couldn't even hold a steady job? I remember you reminding me. Come on, she said, turning to face me. That was a rough time for both of us. No, you were doing fine. I was drowning. She sighed. Didn't come here to fight? Then why did you come? Rachel hesitated. James left. I blinked. Left. Walked out. Said he needed someone with less baggage. I nodded slowly. Karma doesn't knock, it walks right in. That's not fair. It's perfectly fair. She sat without asking. Crossing her legs like this was still her world. I just thought maybe we could talk. We are talking. Meant really talk. No thanks. She tilted her head. I thought you forgave me. I did. Then why are you like this? Because forgiveness isn't an invitation. No. You changed, she said, studying me. You told me to? I didn't mean it like that. You called me useless. I was angry. You were cruel. She looked away. Silence sat between us. Finally, she said, I'm not here for money. I didn't offer any, Ethan. I'm not the villain you make me out to be. I don't have to make you anything. You were the villain. In my story, at least. That's dramatic. No, it's honest. Rachel stood. So this is who you are now? Some emotionally unavailable internet philosopher? No. I'm a man who stopped begging to be loved. She flinched. I didn't apologize. I watched your show, she said. Some of it was about me. All of it was about me. Made me look like a monster. It made me look like a survivor. She moved toward me. You were never this confident. No, I was broken, quiet, afraid. And you loved that. Because it made you feel powerful. Her lips parted, but no words came. I stepped past her and opened the door. You should go. She didn't move. So that's it? That's everything? No second chances? You didn't leave room for one? People change? I did. You just came back hoping I didn't. Rachel walked to the door but paused. He cheated, you know. James. Multiple times. Good, now you know. How it feels. She stared at me. Do you even care? I don't wish you pain, Rachel, but I don't protect you from it either. She lingered. You loved me once, she said softly. I did. Deeply, enough to lose myself. And now I love myself more. The door clicked shut behind her. I stood still for a moment. Then I breathed. It didn't hurt. Not like before. Not at all. You want me to what? I stared at Olivia across the conference table. Bring her on, she said, calm as ever, Rachel.
One segment?
Ratings will go through the roof. I laughed bitterly, so I paraded my ex-wife for numbers. She left you at rock bottom. Everyone knows. People are hungry for resolution. They want blood. They want closure, she corrected. And so do you. Backstage, the air was too quiet. Chloe stood beside me, arms crossed. You don't have to do this, she said. I know. Doesn't deserve a platform. I'm not doing it for her. The producer gave me the signal. We're live in 5. Rachel was already seated under the lights, looking smaller than I remembered. Nervous. Out of place, Chloe touched my arm. Don't let them turn you into her. I nodded. The red light blinked on. Welcome back to the Useless Diaries. Today's guest, well, this one's personal. My voice felt foreign in my own mouth. Rachel. She offered a stiff smile. Hi, Ethan. I leaned in. Why'd you agree to come? Closure, she said. You asked me once if I ever meant what I said. I wanted to answer. No, I said. You didn't. Her eyes flicked down. I was angry. No, you were cruel. I didn't know you'd fall so hard. You didn't care. I didn't think you'd rise either. The audience gasped, barely. I kept my tone flat. You once told me I was useless, that I'd never be anything. Rachel glanced at the camera. No rehearsed lines, I said. No spin. Just truth. Her voice wavered. I was scared. You weren't working. We were broke. I felt trapped. So you chose James. He promised stability. He delivered betrayal. She winced. I deserve that. I'm not here to punish you. She blinked. You're not? Could everyone expects me to? She nodded slowly. Yes. I turned to the audience. You all came for a reckoning. I get it. I really do. A beat of silence. But I'm not here to humiliate her. Rachel looked shocked. I brought her. Here to ask one thing. She stared at me, waiting. When you left, did you ever regret it? Her breath caught. She faltered. I thought I didn't, for a while, and now. Tears welled, every day since James left. I nodded. That regret. I carried it for both of us. Until today. Rachel wiped her eyes. Why are you being kind? I'm not. I'm being free. Her lips trembled. I didn't think you had this in you. Didn't back then. The audience was dead silent. I thought this show was revenge, she whispered. So did I said. She stood slowly. I should go. I nodded once as she reached the edge of the stage. She turned back. Thank you. For what? For not becoming what I feared you'd be. I smiled. You don't get to define me anymore. She left, and I breathed. Asterisk, have you seen the headlines? Chloe shoved her phone in front of me as I stirred my coffee. I don't read tabloids. I said, well, they read you. I glanced down. Rachel Rivera falls from grace, betrayed by both lovers and lies. Poetic, I muttered. Chloe raised a brow. You sure you're not enjoying this just a little? I'm not miserable about it. She slid into the chair across from me. They're calling you the man who forgave the unforgivable. That's not what happened. I know. That's what they see. I didn't forgive her. I just let it go. Chloe nodded. That's harder. My phone buzzed again. 10 missed calls from numbers I didn't recognize. Still going viral? She smirked. You haven't checked your TED Talk? I leaned back. Did hit 1 million last week. Try 50. I stared at her. No way. She pulled it up. Every scar, every stage, Ethan Gray, 50.2 M views. I blinked. That's absurd. No, that's quiet justice. Later that afternoon, Olivia called. We got an offer. For what? Your book? My what? Ethan Weave? Had 3 publishers reach out. Memoir, life story, full rights. I haven't written anything. We'll fix that. When I walked into the cafe that night, Chloe was wiping down the counter. "Book deal?" she asked, grinning. "You heard? You're not exactly subtle when you pace outside grinning like an idiot." I might have laughed out loud. "You scared 3 customers?" "Worth it." She leaned on the counter. "So, Mr. Published Author, when are you taking me to dinner to celebrate?" "Wait, is that a date?" "Depends. Will there be pasta?" "There will be whatever you want," she smiled. "Then yes, definitely a date." Later, I found myself alone in the studio, staring at the empty stage. I whispered, "You still watching, Rachel?" No answer, obviously, but something in me loosened. Like I didn't need her gaze anymore. The news kept spiraling. Rachel lost her sponsorships. James moved to Dubai-alone. A tabloid ran a photo of Rachel crying into her car steering wheel. "Don't show me that," I told Chloe when she held up the magazine. "You're right," she said, sliding it into the trash. "You already won." At home, I stared at the blinking cursor on my laptop. First line, she told me I was useless. Then delete. New line, I believed her. Then pause. I typed, but I was never useless, just unseen. Chloe walked in, holding 2 mugs. "How's chapter 1? Therapeutic and terrifying." She sat beside me. "You okay?" "I think I finally like the man I'm writing about." She smiled. I always did. I tilted my head. Why? Because he was honest, even when it hurt. "You think that's strength?" "Real strength," she said, "is showing your scars without bleeding on everyone." "Did you read that somewhere?" she smirked. "Nope, that one's mine." The next day, I walked past a bookstore downtown. In the window, there was a sign. "Coming soon, Ethan Gray's The Useless Diaries." I laughed, not out of irony, out of peace. Asterisk. "I can't believe you still like rooftops," I said, kicking off my shoes. Chloe smiled, settling next to me on the blanket. "I liked them before they were poetic." I chuckled. "You mean before they were in every indie movie ever?" "Exactly. I liked them back when we were 16 and you thought jumping off one would make you fly. I still think that, sometimes. Still dumb. We watched the skyline, the city blinking like it couldn't make up its mind." Chloe broke the silence. "You're not who you used to be." "I know." She turned toward me. "Do you miss him?" I exhaled. "No, but I remember him. The man waiting by the door. Checking his phone every 5 minutes, swallowing things he should have screamed." She nodded. "He loved hard. He loved wrong." She paused. "So, who are you now?" I looked up. "Someone I'd finally want to be." Her eyes softened. "Took you long enough. Maybe that man needed to die for this one to live." Chloe tilted her head. "That sounds dramatic. Good it was hell getting here." We sat in quiet for a while, the wind brushing past like it had somewhere to be. She spoke again. "Do you think she regrets it?" "Yeah, probably, but not for the right reasons. Money, fame, loneliness." I said, "She liked being adored. She just hated who was doing the adoring." Chloe looked at me and you. "What about me? Do you still love her? Not the woman who left me in pieces. That version of her didn't exist. Neither did the man she walked out on." She smiled. "That's a beautiful kind of revenge." "It's not revenge." "Sure it is. Becoming better without them watching? That's the good kind." I laughed. "Then yeah, maybe I did win." The sky turned gold, like it knew we were. Having a moment, Chloe shifted closer. "So book's almost done? Final chapter," I said. "Still not sure how it ends." "Really?" "Yeah, I mean, I know where I'm going. But I don't want it to sound like some fairy tale. No bow, no perfect closure. Just truth, exactly." She nudged my knee. "Put this in it." "What? It's U.S. rooftop? Skyline, you finally smiling?" I grinned. "I'll fictionalize you," she gasped. "Rude. I'll call you Cleo. She's cooler. You wish." The wind picked up again. "I used to think I needed someone to save me," I said. Chloe watched me, and now just needed space to become someone I wouldn't leave. "You're there." she whispered. I looked at her. Am I? She nodded. Fully. There was a kind of silence, then not empty, but whole. I stretched out on the blanket, hands behind my head. She lay beside me, I said. I used to cry up here, I know. You never said anything. I didn't have to. He stared at the stars, flickering faintly. I was terrified, I admitted. Of what? Of staying broken, of getting better, and still being alone. You're not alone, Ethan. I turned my head toward her. She was already watching me. I'm proud of you, she said. Why? For not becoming what broke you, I almost did, but you didn't? Only because you never let go? She smiled again, that quiet smile that had always seen through everything. No one saw me back then. I whispered, I did, I know. That's why I'm still here. The city buzzed below, unaware that something real was happening far above. I never needed her apology. I said, I know. I just needed this. Stillness, clarity, and maybe a little bit of pasta? I laughed. Always. She leaned her head on my shoulder, so hot now. I finished the book. I keep talking. I keep living and us. I looked down at her. We write the next chapter together. She closed her eyes. That sounds like a story I'd read. It's a story I'd finally live. Asterisk, she watches every episode, Chloe said. Handing me the remote, I looked up. What? Rachel? She doesn't comment, she doesn't follow, but she watches. I blinked. How do you know? She messaged me once. Said he's different now, then deleted it. I leaned back, against the couch. She used to say I'd never be more than background noise. Chloe sat beside me. Now you're prime time, I smirked. Funny how people only listen after they leave. She's not listening, Chloe said. She's remembering. Good, let her. The intro music started on the screen. My voice echoed through the room. Confident, clean. Me. She likes your posts sometimes, Chloe added. I raised an eyebrow. Seriously, anonymously. Same weird emoji she used to overuse. Wow, feels weird, doesn't it? No, feels full. I stared at the screen. That man, I said, nodding at the version of me talking into the camera. He's not broken. No, Chloe said. He never was. I looked at her. He just forgot. I stood and walked toward the window. My reflection stared back. I never blocked her, I said. I know. I wanted her to see. Every win, every word. She does, she should. Chloe's voice was soft. You still angry? No, I said, but I'm not merciful either. Then what are you? Whole. The applause from the TV faded into my living room. She'll never admit it. I said, she doesn't have to. She lost. Chloe nodded. And you didn't need to destroy her to win. Silence sat between us. Not heavy, just real. I thought about reaching out once. I said, why didn't you? Because that chapter's over. I reread it, 1,000 times. It still ends the same way. She walks out, Chloe said, and I stay behind, only to rise later. I turned from the window. She made me feel invisible. And now, millions see you. More importantly, I said, I see me. Chloe smiled. That's the difference. The TV flashed scenes from my last segment. Stories of pain, growth, people like me, once forgotten. She created the silence, I said. You filled it. With my voice, with your truth. I sat beside Chloe again. You regret anything? She asked. Sometimes, but only for a second. And then I remember who I became because of it. Who are you? A man who doesn't need revenge to feel worthy. I watched the credits roll. She watches this, huh? I asked. Chloe nodded. Every time. Same time. Same breath holding. Pause before you speak. Then let her. I picked up my phone. No messages, no calls. Just quiet. She never apologized. She doesn't know how. She never will. That's not your burden anymore. I smiled. She called me useless. Chloe squeezed my hand. You called yourself back. I looked one last time at the screen. The title flashed, The Useless Diaries. Irony never felt so holy.